Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Oh yeah. That's how this review is going to go. I'm not even going to stop and redo it. So here we have the Hasbro Marvel Legends Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest. This is the 60th anniversary of Avengers Premium line. And this is the Amazon exclusive Black Knight and Sersi 2-pack. This pack kind of sucks. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of it for a few different reasons. The figures just aren't very good. That's going to be the main thing. I think the big thing to call out of this 2-pack and the big thing that people will want this for is you build out the 90s team, which is cool when you get better action figures. And this one is just not that great. So it's all essentially reuse here. I'd have to double check the jacket. Maybe the jacket's new on Black Knight. The arms, I'm certain, are reused. Sersi is the old female body, so we got the super thin legs with the pins. It's just a little disappointing. There's just nothing too special about this 2-pack, and that's kind of the unfortunate thing. The photon sword is probably the thing I like the most out of this pack. But in the Deadpool and Agent Bob, Agent of Hydra 2-pack, we're going to get 2 of those laser swords. But we get this photon sword with Black Knight Dane Whitman. And we get all the leather jacket goodness of the 90s. But other than that, there's a couple of problems with the figures itself. Like the legs on my Black Knight are a little wonky. I can't bend that top part of the knee on his right leg. The left leg is a little warped out of package. You know, I'm sure if I warm it all up, I can kind of fix it and kind of go through all that. It sucks to have to do that. But really, I'm just disappointed in how the figures came out. So this isn't the most exciting pack for me out of the Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest line. It's definitely at the bottom of the list for me. It might be at the top for you guys. And that's all good and great. Just I would have hoped that you guys could have gotten better figures for, you know, this pack if that's what you really wanted. But let's get into it. So we look at the box. We got the Black Knight and Sersi. So you could see kind of from that cover. I think it was Avengers 373, if I'm not mistaken. So that's kind of the look that they're going for, obviously. There, you get that side artwork there from that cover as well. Here in the back of the package, we see the loadout of what everything comes with. So Sersi has these 2 effect pieces. She comes with fists and open hands. Black Knight comes with fists and grip hands, and he has his photon sword there. So that is pretty good. It is the first comic Sersi figure that we've gotten. This is not the first Black Knight figure that we've gotten, as we have gotten a previous version that was in the Cull Obsidian wave. I actually have 2 of these because it came with 3 different heads. So I think I think the heads were supposed to be. I'm not sure if one was Dane Whitman. I'm trying to remember now. One was like, I think, the Nathan Garrett, and then Sir Percy, and then I think it was also Dane Whitman. But there were 3 heads total with the Black Knight figure. So I have to double check to see if this helmet is the same that we had gotten previously. I want to say the head underneath is not the same. But I'm going to look that up and we'll get into it, and then we'll kind of zoom in and take a closer look at these 2 figures, which are, I mean, I guess they're okay. Just they're not great. Okay, so here's our up-close look at this Black Knight figure, and then looking back at images, the helmet is the same as the previous release, and I think the head sculpt is actually the same. The big difference is we get the digital face print this time around, so like the lips, the little 5 o'clock shadow, or I guess a little bit of a goatee in there is printed nicely. But other than that, not a whole lot else really going on for it. I'm a little disappointed. Like, the legs are all wonky. Again, I can't bend this portion of the knee there. I've tried to like force it. I haven't tried heating it up yet, but it's like stressing out the plastic and stuff. So I'll get to it when I get a chance. The leg's a little warped. That's normal. It'll happen with any figure. I just don't think this figure is all too special or anything. Looking at, what we have, they have made some changes. So the boots are different. We don't get the tiny Bucky cap feet. We get slightly larger. The pirate boots are a little bit different. We get some red accents in there. So they did change those, but the legs are going to be the same. The torso is the same as well. We don't get, there's not painted on the edge of the shoulder, which I guess wouldn't make sense because he's got the jacket on anyway. There's no red outline at the collar piece. No big deal there. So yeah, those are the changes there. The gloves are different as well. As you can see, there is no like cuff. Oh, you know what? There is the cuff, but I do think they are different regardless. They don't have the same wrinkles in there, and that cuff is actually a lot bigger, or that cut, excuse me. So yeah, the Black Knight, it's just, it's not It's not that great. It's just a little, unfortunate. One thing that they did do, which is kind of nice, they didn't do a lot of paint detail throughout the figure, but on these collar pieces here, they did add some like paint in there, a little bit of a shading to kind of go around and give it somewhat of a leather texture look to it. And again, that's just around the collar piece. But other than that, not a whole lot else going. We do get the photon sword, which looks pretty good. They added some orangish red paint there on the flare out portion. And that's pretty cool. Just done in this dark gray hilt piece. We will see again the different versions of these in that Deadpool 2-pack. He does come with extra hands, so we do have a fist for each hand. We do have a grip hand for each hand as well. And then holding on to the photon sword, he doesn't actually have the best grip in it. It's pretty loose. So unfortunately, well, I guess if you just kind of sit it in there in a certain way, it holds it a little bit better. So just a heads up on that. But yeah, not a whole lot else going for him. He's got the Avengers logo there on his left shoulder. Yeah, but that's it for Black Knight. Okay, now for Sersi, it's okay. I think that face looks okay. I don't think there's any problems with it. She's got big ass hair. It was the 90s after all, as you could see there. Not a whole lot going for it. You can see her skin tone on the inside. Now, at times, Hasbro has done like a little bit of paint on the edge there to kind of cover up and make it look like, the jacket is like a full piece and you don't see the separation there. They did not do that on this figure. She's just done in black and red. As you can see, we got the older legs with the pins. We do get these kneecaps, which I think could be new, but I'd have to double check if they've been used before. But yeah, thin and a little gummy. And that's like my big problem with it. We do get single jointed elbows, which was to be expected with the jacket, unless they would give us like a new arms completely. But we got the old arms. It is what it is. They did add some paint. As you can see, there is some panel lining on the leather jacket on the inside. The jacket itself doesn't have any kind of shading or weathering or anything like that. Just the inside collar, similar to the Dane Whitman Black Knight figure. The collar piece gets the paint. A little bit of gold on these belts. And that's it. Not a whole lot else going. I think the face looks okay. Nothing special, nothing great. She comes with, fists, and then we do have the open hands that every single female figure ever has come with. And then we get these two energy fire effect type things with some orange paint added onto them. We first saw these with the Walmart exclusive binary form of Captain Marvel, the MCU figure. And we've seen these used quite a few times ever since then. So we get those here. They just slip over her fists. They kind of formed around to fit the fist, not the open hand. So we got those, and there's two of those. But that's it. Let's go ahead and see their articulation now. Okay, so Black Knight's articulation, he can't look up that much. The head is on a disc hinge. He can't look down that much. Get full rotation in there. Is there some pivot? Yeah, I guess there's a little bit in there. The shoulder goes straight on out like so. You get a full rotation in there. Super thick bicep swivel. No, it's not as ugly, I guess, when you turn it. Double jointed elbow. They are pinned because these are reused arms, so that much bend there. The glove does get in the way of it. A little bit. This is just like an overlay piece that goes over that arm. Wrists swivel and they do hinge. Each hand has the standard horizontal hinge, including the grip hands, which when you have a sword, you would hope for the vertical. We don't get that. We have an ab crunch here, so he can crunch forward that much. He can go back a little bit, but the leather jacket does get in the way and hinder that a little bit. The paint is continued on in that ab. In there, you got the waist swivel there. Legs go out only that far apart. That's not very much. He can kick forward pretty high though, which is good. Leg goes back ever so slightly. Upper thigh cut in there, but very stiff. And be very careful with these. The chainmail scale legs, those have a tendency to break, so be very careful with those. So the upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinned knee, because again, these are reused legs, so pins in the knees. That much bend there. We do have the boot swivel there. Foot hinges down. A little bit of hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. These feet and boots are much better than the previous ones because the bucky cap feet are just too damn small and makes it hard sometimes for them to stand. Another problem that I have with these arms is they just go too far out to the side. They don't come down any closer than that. But usually that's because, again, they're quite large because he's got big arms. You know, it's you know, a little bit of a puffy jacket, or you know, not a skin tight jacket, so they're gonna kind of stick out a little bit. So that is Black Knight's articulation. We'll move on to Sersi. Again, it's going to be a little disappointing because it's an old female body, but the head is on a disc hinge, so she can look down really good. She cannot look up because of her hair. Of course, that's going to get in the way. You get the side to side on the head. The shoulder you can get to go straight on out like so. Full rotation in there. You got a swivel at the elbow. Again, it is single joints. You get that much bend there, so about a perfect 90 degree there. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge, standard horizontal hinge on all of the hands. She has the diaphragm cut on her, so she can tilt to her left that much. That's actually pretty good. She could tilt to her right that much. Not bad. She can go back a little bit. Hey, there we go. Forward's going to be like nothing at all, though, so that's unfortunate. Swivel at that diaphragm there. Legs go out only that far apart. That's another downfall of these legs. They just don't spread out too much. She can kick forward that far. Leg goes back just the slightest amount. Upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed knee. You get that much bend there, which is good. No calf swivel or anything. Foot hinges down, hinge up. Ankle pivot. Peg holes at the bottom of the feet. Thin legs makes it hard for her to stand. Really not a fan of these legs. It's the newer legs would have been so much better, but you know, it's yeah, just getting her to stand sometimes is just tricky. Like, why is it so hard just to get her to stand? I hate these legs. Okay, so here we have the two Black Knight figures side by side, and again, this one did have 3 different heads, which included that one, this one, and then like the Sir Percy like bucket like version of the helmet. So there we go there. So big difference in the design. Well, not a huge difference, just a lot, you know, no cape and added leather jacket. It's an interesting choice. If you guys know why he decided to go with a leather jacket, was it purely just a 90s thing? Like Black Widow, Sersi, they had the leather jackets. It was the thing. You guys let me know down in the comments below. Okay, quite the difference here between the comic Eternal Sersi and the movie MCU Eternals Sersi. Yeah, very, 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 very different. Right when I hit record, she falls down. So I know I've been pretty negative in this video, and I try not to be. I try to be pretty excited about most figures. This 2-pack honestly just doesn't excite me all that much. Because it just, you know, again, the older figures, like the older female body and stuff. But again, I want to highlight the fact that we get these 90s team. So your Avengers, you know, team in the 90s. If you're looking to build that out, I think these are 2 essential characters for that. So this could fit in your display if that's what you're going for. It just, for me, again, I would prefer to get, you know, better figures. I would like the Black Knight figure a little bit more if the legs weren't bad on mine. And that could just be mine, or it could be a common QC issue. I don't know. But it's a little frustrating. But the Black Knight figure is definitely better than the Sersi figure, I would say. But again, only because the old female body, the legs are just so bad. It like bothers me how bad they are when we've gotten so many better female body molds at this point now. This one again just is, you know, a real big disappointment. But you guys let me know down in the comments below your thoughts. Again, I know I was too negative. I'm sorry. You guys let me know what you think of this, because I think a lot of people are going to be excited for this before that 90s Avengers team. But you guys let me know if you're one of those down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button or the thumbs down, because I was super negative. You know, that's up to you. Hit that like button again, or the unlike button. I lost train of thought like when I do something different. This is a funny video. You guys go for it. I'm gonna have fun with it. I'm just gonna post it up. I'm gonna edit it, so put it all together like this, and you guys can enjoy. But hit that like button or not. Hit the join button and become a channel member or not. You know, your support is much appreciated. And as always, thank you for watching, guys. Hope you got some laughs out of this. If anything, just a couple of laughs right here at the very end, or when she keeps falling and everything, but maybe not.